Hello, Dr. Jennifer Clemens. Reminder, this is meant for educational purposes, not to try and diagnose or treat anybody. I'm trying to help raise questions and provide some answers, point you in the direction of finding more answers. I always encourage you to do your own research. Today, wanted to bring up the important question, a reframe, as we're all doing shelter in place and wondering when can things reopen. What will that look like? And there's many different speculative articles about will it open and shut? Is it a roller coaster? Was one analogy I saw instead of simply a reopening and everything's fine. So here's the question that we want to look at, and then I want to discuss possible solutions about. Really, we need to think about this as a matter of not if, but when, as far as infection. This is a highly contagious disease, as far as we know. Um, it is easily spread. It's made its way around most of the globe. My youngest daughter said, "Can't we just go somewhere COVID isn't?" And I said, "Well, eventually it's pretty much going to be everywhere. Maybe not Antarctica. It might eventually make its way there." So there's good sides and bad sides to that. One is the nature of humans and human resilience. Humans have been through different epidemics before and pandemics, and humans generally survive through those. So that's true, and that's part of being a human, being a creature alive right now. There's unknowns as far as asymptomatic people, people who have gotten sick, had very minor symptoms, have recovered. So those big questions of who has already had it is going to be a part of that when. The when may have happened for many people. We don't know. Antibody testing, looking at the IgG, IgM, so the memory cells, the memory antibodies, that's going to be important. That can tell us a lot about it. Also, approaching it instead of a anti and a closed perspective, looking at it as if we have a choice of how we want to face this challenge. That's really what I want to dig into, because as I talk to my patients about all the time, prevention is really the best cure. This is naturopathic philosophy at its finest, Chinese medicine also, really treating the root, restoring balance to the whole system, and then that system will have a greater resilience. So, some solutions. One, as always, changing mindset instead of an adversity closing perspective, which is not the best for our immune system or our humanity, more of an opening perspective. What can I do today? I can take time to go outside and breathe fresh air. Hopefully, there's at least a window we can open, if not a patio to go on. I can write a love note to a friend, reach out to people I care about. I can take moments to practice meditation, to do yoga. There's resources, free resources online. These are all important immune supporting tools. In addition, the deeper one that I really think bears looking at, especially as we watch the disease and death rates coming across the United States, which is really devastating some areas, those pre-existing risk factors, an unfortunate one, old age among them, accumulation of health risks around inflammation, cardiovascular disease, diabetes. There's information about the types of receptors on different cells. So those ACE2 receptors I mentioned in the previous video, they are found on adipose cells as well. More cells means more receptors, means more risk. So steps that we can take immediately, though very difficult to do, involve changing the diet, changing the exercise patterns, changing timing of eating can make a huge difference for people. So again, not to treat or diagnose, but to pose ideas and questions for you. Please consult your practitioner. If you're in California, call me. Happy to become your practitioner if you're willing to do the introspection and health work, because I can't do it for you. I can educate. So things like intermittent fasting, immediately reducing the soda and the sugar and the carbs, those are all immune bombs. You can look online. I will also post resources on the website. Sugar is to our immune cells like it is to small children at a party, and big children too. They get hyper, they run all around, and then they bonk, and then they're not able to do their job as effectively. So we're back to what grandma told you, hopefully. more veggies, more veggies, more veggies. And I'm not going to advocate vegetarian or vegan or paleo or any of those. It's unique for each person. The important thing is sourcing good, healthy food. I'm going to put a video up that a friend of mine did that's wonderful about sustainable agriculture, permaculture practices, and how this impacts our immune system. And remember, the immune system of the earth is also our immune system. That I also put that up, this wonderful, amazing picture, clarity of air in Delhi now compared to last October. And it's profound to think about what this great pause is offering as far as the health of the planet. And then a reminder going forward, it isn't simply close it down, shelter in place, reopen it, everything's fine. There's an opportunity here, an invitation, and an important need for changing how we go about business, how we go about our self-care, our health. And again, it's not if, but when. And how do we want to meet it? How do we want to prepare? How do we want to be more resilient? So again, all the previous things I've said, good hydration, the quality water filter, very, very important. Exercise, getting out, movement, moving your body. Myself included, sitting way too much these days. I'm usually quite mobile, moving between rooms and helping patients and active and able to go to the gym. I'm having to get very creative about how to continue that workout, lifting, strengthening at home with what tools I have, and how to get up and move around, move different seats. You can do all of these things for free. They're all accessible. And it's important to remember the importance of those. Yes, supplements. See the newsletters. Again, these are not cures. These are supports for the system so it can have its optimal health and wellness. And a system that's functioning as cleanly as possible is going to be better able to meet a challenge, navigate, deal with that challenge without getting carried away, and resolve that challenge. And that's what we want the most. So inflammation, root of all evil, truly. We must reduce our inflammation. If you're not sure if you're inflamed, I can ask some very specific and clear questions there. Most likely many of us are. There's blood work we can look at, and I can measure people's blood sugar levels, inflammation states. These all inform my assessment, treatment, and diagnosis for people. So please, let's take a breath. Let's take a moment. There are things that we can do, and there's things that we need to do. I would love to be of service. Please reach out if I can help. Thank you.